tree, then on the top we have good balanced tree, but in between it's like this, you know. The tree, the gala tree goes like this, then like this. Yeah. So because here we prune normally not enough.
Not enough. What about when a branch becomes this big and thick, like next year? It would be competing with the leader. Should I keep it or remove it?
No. This one I will keep it till the end of the age.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I need. The difference is this year I don't touch it because once I touch it here, maybe this one becomes too strong and can have an influence in competing the leader, and I don't want.
Okay, so you won't touch it here.
No, this year not. Maybe next year I touch it again, but this year not. Yeah? Here for sure I need to touch.
So you want some beyond this. This is the maximum you want.
Yes.
And you want to machine also.
Tractors and so on, yes. But in Gala it's very, very important to keep always renewing.
Which is more vigorous, that guy or this one?
No, vigorous, also Pink Lady, it's quite vigorous. The point is that Gala, it's vigorous on the top always, because it grows much more on the top. And if you're not doing this, Gala, it's dying. Yeah? If you're just keeping all wood like this one, this one, Gala is dying. Also this one here, this is for sure it's flower buds. Yeah. Also on the 1 year wood, this is for sure flower bud. Then you have fruits here.
This one?
Yeah.
Even this one?
Yeah. If remains the apples or not, it's another story. But that flower buds means the wood becomes old very, very soon, and there is no growing anymore. And if you do this, yeah, then you avoid to get flowers, and then the apical bud is starting immediately and grows. Yeah? Otherwise, I have apical fruiting buds, which stops the vegetation, you know. And then you have exactly this situation, like here. Yeah? Here you had an apple, yeah? And behind this, it's like a, how to say, eine Bremse, a brain, no, like a brake, yeah. Like a brake, you know. This one, it's like a brake, yeah, because wherever you have apples, there is the
less growth.
I don't know how to say in English. Wordly translated, we do the mother cake. I don't know how to translate in English. German, it's like this, you know. And this one is always a break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here. So you mean on the ring?
No. Once you have an apple, and
if I cut it here?
Yeah. Once you are cutting here, it's nothing. You have to cut it here, but that's not the way to do. I leave it here. Yeah. Here you can see very well. Yeah? Yeah. If you are leaving this, then you have fruits here, and you have always this piece here, this piece of wood. Once you have an apple, you know, and it's like a break.
Yeah.
And once you are not increasing, then this brick will not pass enough liquids to grow.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very important to do this.
Some places, what the issue we're having with galas is that becoming too much blind wood. So, like this. Nothing coming out.
You do what we do. It's in the springtime just to take a knife and to do like this. Yes.
So would you be able to do it for all the orchards?
Of course.
You do it for all of them?
Of course, all tops.
So how much are you doing? Just show me. How deep
Not
will you go?
With a knife, but with a
grafting knife.
No, not a knife.
With a saw.
Saw, exactly. You know the Switzerland, they have knives from Switzerland. You know, they have Victorinox. They have some nice saw on the knives, and this one is perfect because it's large enough and it goes quite deep. But if you do it just with a knife, this one is covered immediately.
How deep do you want to go?
No. You need to do something like this. Yeah.
This much?
Yeah, this much. But not with a knife, because the knife, then the skin, it recovers before the bud is starting. Okay. Yeah?
So if I do it above, I have a new growth here.
Of course.
But if I do it below, what happens?
if you do it below, then you don't have the grow. You have to do it above, but below makes no sense. Yeah? But here I go in the springtime. I do it here 1, 2, 3, and here for sure the first 4, 5. Yeah.
Would that also work in the case of such a thick one? No.
No.
Only in
you
the
see
thin
that
one.
we did it here.
It's not happening.
It's sometimes happening, sometimes not happening. You see here it's happening. Here not.
I'm having this issue too.
Yeah,
I let it become too thick and
not,
then.
No, it's not. You see here it's happened. You know.
You've done it everywhere.
The response was good here too, here not. But I don't need here because once the trees are high, you need some windows.
No, you but already have got a lot of fruiting wood, so you don't need. I don't think you need. And what is the plan for this case? This guy here, like you already get good vigorous growth here. So next year.
Stop. And here with the knife, with the saw, and stop. And here.
Okay.
And finish. Nothing else to do.
Great.
Yeah. A lot in Gala, it's a lot to cut, to prune, because it's not a lot of work to do, but anyhow, it's important. That's the work for Thomas on his home and for me on my home during the Christmas period.
So you do early pruning or late?
What?
Like all guys say that it's better to do it in February.
No, we are starting now.
So you do some oil sprays also in the winter? Or
No.
You don't need?
We do it in the springtime and
only in the spring.
Yeah.
Okay. And some limes sprays? No?
Nothing. We do
Boron
some copper, boron and potassium once the season is over, when the harvest is done.
Boron and potassium spray on the leaf.
Yes, and then we do some copper, some urea, and if needed
copper and urea when?
Copper we do it under our conditions end of October, depending on the variety, but middle end of October. Yeah. And then we do some copper shellac, just for leaf.
And when do you do the urea?
The urea, it depends. If you do urea in addition to your copper, then you spray less. If you do urea to have the leaf fall, then you do high concentration. Yes, you spray
and in
50,
spring,
60 kilo hectare.
Spring, what do you guys do, like when the flowers are coming to increase fruit set? What you do, apart from the prominent? Any nutrient that you should take care of in the...
We do some nitrogen in the leaf, some mangan, depends on if it's needed or not. On the
no boron
leaf.
On the flower?
Yes, a bit of boron, 1, 2 treatments of boron, of course. But depends a bit on your leaf analysis, which element you know that in your area you need some more, some potassium, or some, you know.
But I'm talking in the case of flowering. That time you don't have a leaf.
Boron, of course, and in our area we need a lot of iron. Because the pH it's quite high, and we have in this area here in the springtime, once the trees are waking up, I give 8-9 kilos, sometimes 10 kilos per hectare on iron. Because the leaves
is already low.
The leaves are yellow, and once the leaves are yellow, you cannot have a good fruit set. Yeah.
And what do we do if I get like too many fruits? Then you do the chemical thinning first?
Of course, not only, we do also manual thinning, but we do, depends. It's also the climate, it's a big influence. If we do the same thinning as Thomas do in the Finchgau Valley, we are without apples, you know? Because they have another climate, they need some really stronger thinning program. We do some ATS or some amethine, and then depends on some BA, yeah, and sometimes it depends on Fuji. We do some etrel, but depends. So what we do standard, it's
And for the promelin, like even you do it in on the galas also for sheep.
To be honest, I'm not a prominent user. No. So to be honest, promelin for me it's something which if it's really needed to increase the growing, then okay, or in rattle issues to make it the shape. It's fine. For the rest, I think it's
not needed. But you use it in the nursery, right? Then it's important.
I need nursery.
For the feathering, it's very important.
Nursery, it's
very
yes.
very important.
Yeah. So that's how we do, and with the trellis, you know, wires and plastic clamps and iron clamps and.
We saw all of them at the shop.
Yeah.
Told them. So we have a good idea now. How to get it done. The only thing is, should we do the pole or the steel? Let's see.
Both it works. So we are used to do it with beton. Simple because beton it's forever and it's have a volume. If the iron sticks for sure have to be closed on the bottom, otherwise they are going down again. That's important. And if the iron is cheaper,
what we're doing is we use the iron, then we stuff it with cement. So that way is also it does the same thing. But
I mean, what it's important to have it close down.
Otherwise it'll keep
and then what I always try to avoid, because it's normal use to plant the iron poles and to have a hole for the wire, and that's something which you should absolutely avoid, because in this way you have always an up and down with the wire, which is not good.
Yeah. Because
and in this way you can
adjust.
Just adjust the wires on the level of the soil, not on the height of the poles. That's a difference, you know.
So initially, like 10 years ago, were there roads that had failure, like the whole road collapsed, something like that happened?
Yeah, it's maybe not. It's not depending on the holes, but once you have a slopey area, then you should not do it through the iron poles. Just like here, you can fix it somehow, and then you can adjust your wire on the slopes. You know, that's much better. And the other story is, once something is wrong, to take out some poles, or for many reasons, you know, you have to cut your wire.
Yes.
Because otherwise you cannot take it out anymore.
Yeah. So do you do the same kind of pruning for your pink ladies, or because it's a tippier pink lady?
No, I do less tipping. A little bit less. Where I need it, I do it. Otherwise, a little bit less.
Yeah. And like those trees over there, can you just give an idea? Don't do the cutting, but just show.
My neighbor, I don't want to. We can enter. That's not the problem. But that's red delicious.
That's very furry.
Yeah.
What would people do ideally?
So that's, you know, I know that you like red delicious. I personally, in this part, in this area, we don't like red delicious. But anyhow, so that's
it's very furry.
Here is on the end of the day nothing to do. What you should do here is just to renew sometimes the old. You know, you can do it with the cedar. You can do it also with manually. You know, just to cut out some of them.
Reduce some of them.
Yeah, because that's old wood. And
so this must be how many years old?
This one for sure 10 years minimum.
M9?
It's an M9, yes.
And how much kilos
maybe
per
more
tree?
Than 10 years.
How many fruits per tree
this kind of structure? Per tree it can have 8-9 kilos, 10 kilos if it's really full. Yeah? And
so
you should also here, I suggest always once you have something like this, you should cut it because you see this one is a 1-year-old wood.
Yeah.
This one was 1-year-old wood 2 years back,
Yeah.
and you did not this pruning, and then you see there is dying, you know. Yeah, and here it looks nice, but the fruits are never big like here.
Yes.
So means that you have to think in advance, not once the trees are old, because once you prune here, there is no response anymore.
No.
There is no response. Here you have a response. You're losing the apical bud, but you have a response, and then you have a fresh wood, like somehow here, you know, and here. If you do it like this, it's perfect.
And when people make that kind of cut, like is made on the top, or like there, big cut.
Yeah, they was
No canker?
trying. No.
What about this guy? Is having some canker here. What should I
No,
do?
that's not canker. That's can be phomopsis. It's not canker. It's not canker.
So in case we have that kind of situation, so what should we do? More sprays, copper?
You should spray a copper, or that's also here. That's
Yeah.
very normal. That's something which is happening in the winter or late winter, beginning of spring. Once you have minus temperatures during the day, during the night, and in the day you have already plus.
Cracking.
Then you have the cracking, and this one it's for sure something related temperature. It's not canker. It looks the same,
Yeah.
but this one, as you can see here, recovers.
Yeah, green.
Canker never recovers. That's different, because once the gentleman sees something like this, oh, it's canker. It can be canker, no discussion. But it looks like canker also here, but it's recovered by green, and green and canker never recovers. Never.
Hey, but similar situation if this was a red willows, it wouldn't be this far, it would be more vigorous.
Yes, much more vigorous. Yes.
So this is a
This one it looks not really growing much.
Is this spur type?
Yeah, and those trees are, look this is for sure not canker.
So what is he doing? He's like replacing the trees with new.
You know, that's an orchard which have to be removed yesterday, not tomorrow. But anyhow, so not all.
We still we
thinking
cannot
in the same way.
straight away change from red delicious. It takes some time to go away.
No, but in your case, red delicious is paid like our
Gold.
our like gold. Of course, then makes
It's going
sense.
up every year.
Then makes sense to plant red delicious. There is no issue. So we have other options. If you go in the upper areas, you also have less options in the really upper part. We also have less options when you're planting red delicious here.
Yeah, so what do you suggest for us? Should we go for the M9 and Willox combination, or maybe a vigorous rootstock on M9? What do you say?
Once you get it settled with your water management, then only M9, only. Plant it a little bit closer in case, but not change rootstock anymore. So I'm absolutely against. Okay, if you say there is no water, then you have to plant MO6 and 111 for sure. But once you get it settled with the water, there is no way out for M9. All the rest, okay, we can think about PE, 80 EMLA, and you know a lot of stuff of fruit stocks. Okay, it's nice to hear, nice to see the different, but believe me, there is a reason why, if you go around in US or in Europe, that you can see 99% of M9. There is a reason, yeah? And so we had this discussion about rootstocks, about N26, M9, EMLA, P80, what others are upcoming, Fleur and Saxon 56, and all those things. We tried, but on the end we are always coming back to M9. Maybe the future will show us if the Geneva rootstocks are fine. Look, they are fine, but not for the affinity, just for the replanting diseases, to avoid the replanting diseases. You know, that's maybe can be a good option, but only for that. all the rest on rootstocks we have all what we want.
So what about the confusion between M9, Pajam, NIC29 and then T337?
You know, that's like you buy a car, the same brand, and you put other seats inside, and you know, this color or the other color. At the end of the day, I don't see much different. You know, if you see, okay, this one is planted here, it's M9, and then you go maybe 500 meters far and you see maybe PU80 board, that's a different, you know. At the end of the day, maybe it makes more different the soil than the rootstock. Of course, if you're talking about 26 M9 or something like this, then there is a difference because the growing is different. But between EMLA and M9 or Pajam 1, Pajam 2 on the end,
no difference. And all river trees are T337?
yes, yes, because we try to avoid as far as we can, we try to avoid to have 10 kind of rootstocks, because when the grower, our customer is coming, he wants gala. Okay, I have 300 gala on M9, 300 gala I left from PY80, and then how you can do an orchard with different rootstocks? It's
but
crazy.
Why do you guys don't make your own rootstock? Why do you have to buy from all?
No, we don't have to buy. We want to buy simple because we think that the climate in Netherlands, it's good for rootstock, and we have to.
You need cold weather for rootstock?
No, you need not hot and not cold. They have let's say equal temperature the whole year long, and the growing. So the rootstocks just visually, Italian rootstocks much nicer because they are higher, they are bigger, they are stronger. But the internodes are, because of the growing, that they grow much more. The internodes have more knots, you know, knots. And for doing the chip budding, it's easier to get a clean rootstock, even if it's a little smaller. But the growing, they're starting in let's say March, and they're growing in equal speed till September. And we have in Feb, March, they grow, and then they start to grow in full, you know, and then they stop maybe end of October. So the vegetation period is much higher. We are able to get this high, which we don't need. Yeah? Opposite side, Italian trees have a longer vegetation period. They are more ripe. They are a bigger volume. If you compare our knip trees or our 1 year trees or even 9-month trees with the Netherlands trees, there is a big difference. Simple because of temperature and because of vegetation period. We have at least 2.5 months more growing, you know, and that's affects have an
so
influence.
Right from
on
when you guys started off Riba, you've been buying rootstock, or like initially you tried to do it on your own?
No, we had some rootstocks before my time, so 20 years ago they had some mother stoolback, and we have seen that the quality, or the guys have seen that the quality is good, but in the end was easier to graft with those rootstocks, and now we have a strong collaboration with more, but especially with one, where he's sending us the product what we need. And maybe nobody knows if it's now upcoming new selections of Geneva. Maybe we are thinking about to get our own stool, because we have all. Let's say we have the land, we have the water, we have the capacity, but till now there was no reason to do it. Yeah?
So you guys are also looking forward to Geneva's? Which one?
What we are trying now with Antonio 1141, and then maybe this year I hope that we can try some 1 or 2 numbers more, which is more close to M9, because 4111 it's a little bit stronger than M9, which is fine, but let's say we are looking for something which is a little bit closer to M9.
And all the rootstock that you buy, is that done on the bed or in the lab?
No, only vegetative multiplication. No,
stooling bed.
Yes, stool bed. No in vitro
Why?
propagation. because in vitro propagation, they think that it have some influence on the in vitro propagation, on the quality of the rootstock. And that's why for now they try to avoid the
You guys also tried?
no,
No.
that's not our business.
No, buying like in vitro.
Yes,
Is
we
it-
did,
what
but
happened?
we see that we have it's not how to say approved, but the juvenile factor can have an influence. And I know that the US guys are now trying to do more and more, especially in Geneva. Maybe it works,
Yeah.
but
Till now it's not been like what we bought. Sometimes we bought some of the in vitro.
yeah,
In Ghana we are having tracking from the union.
yeah.
Union necrosis.
That's what we feel, and as far as we have good experience in stool bags, and the rootstocks are quite good and not that much expensive.
Yeah.
Why we should try to do something else? You know?
Yeah, that's
to,
right.
to have some.
No, but just I'm looking all the apple industry.
Yeah.
Replantation is going on everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody needs
And
plants.
just to change an old root way for a new one, which you don't know how it will be, because
Yeah.
stories to introduce a variety it takes long, but to introduce a rootstock takes the double of the time. Yeah, because you have to the cross, then you have to take it to
See the results
see the
from
results,
them,
and then you have to graft them. And once you're grafting a tree, it's not in the 1 year, the year after you can see the result. It has to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years to get the feedback how it's the performance in growing, in crop performance, and all those things, which is very important.
NM9 is already tried and tested.
Yeah, and I always say we have a good rootstock for us. Here we have a good rootstock. Why we should now try something else which we know but we don't know?
Yeah.
Yeah? That's our way of thinking.
Water is not an issue.
No, water we have double irrigation. You see the sprinkler there. Yeah.
For the
Here,
frost.
sprinkler for the frost, and then we have the drip irrigation.
You put all the fertilizer in the tank, and then fertigation.